Hello, hello. Happy Monday and welcome. Hope that you've had a really great weekend. Ours was full of rock on birthday parties for a almost 3-year old. Tomorrow's the real day. Really fun. And today sort of feels like fall for sure. It was beautiful on Saturday. Sarah opted to bump the party to Saturday when we saw the weather. And it was gorgeous. It was sunshine and beautiful, and the foliage was gorgeous, but it was still nice and warm. So I hope that you had an amazing weekend. And tonight we are working with a gnome for the holidays. If you are going to share this in a group, share it in our VIP group, okay? Let's leave the Cricut group alone so they don't get confused. Those of you that are wondering what I'm talking about, I have had 2 groups for a long time and a page. You're watching me on my page. This is Facebook 101. You're watching me on my page. The groups are where we can chit chat with everyone, and I have a VIP group that's going to be for my stamping only. And then my other group went back to being all Cricut. So I hope that that will make life easier for people to figure out. And you're welcome to be in both. In fact, I hope you are. Monday nights, we're going to do stamping. And in that group, I will post other stamping things that you need to know about or I want to share. And then the Cricut group will stay Cricut. And my online classes have returned. If you're not sure what they're like and you're a Cricut user, you can always find all the details on my blog of what's going on with me. Before I was Stampin' Up, I was a Cricut teacher, which many of you know. And I used to teach way back when the baby bug was here, those kind with cartridges. And then as Cricut evolved, so did my classes. And so now they're all with Design Space. But anywho, we're not using any of that tonight. Tonight we are all about stamps. Hey, Mary Lou, happy birthday. It's Mary Lou's birthday today. Thank you for coming. I thought you'd be having cake and ice cream or something yummy. But thanks for being here. If I knew you were coming, I'd be singing, but no, I won't. You and Lou, one day apart, I didn't know that. We should have brought you to the Rock On party. You would have loved it. Okay. So we are using this super cute stamp. Oh, good, Debbie. Good, good. Hi, Marian. Okay, so tonight, this is the stamp set that we're using. And this is the stamp, this is the card that I made today. And using Garden Green, Shaded Spruce. This is, I never remember its name. Home for the Holidays? 'Tis the Season. Yeah. The 'Tis the Season Designer Series paper, which is this great kind of, it sort of reminds me of wrapping paper or kind of old school. This design speaks to me as old school. And I, of course, am young, yeah. So when I posted this, Shannon told me this looked like a face and a grumpy tree, and now I can't see it. I could see it when she told me earlier. These are the eyes. These are the eyes. The yellow are the eyes and the downturned mouth. But now I don't see it. Oh, I can kind of see it there. If I look at it in person, I don't see it. It looks like he's growling. Now I see it really good. Looks like he's going, Urgh. Anywho, this was done with our Stampin' Blends. I stamped it with my Memento, okay? And this is kind of what a traditionally looking card would look like, right? Stamp, color, we're good. Before we move on to our other option, I used these tools that I showed you on last week. I don't remember which day it was. Right, Mary Lou? Now you can't unsee it. Now that you see it, you can't unsee it. These are just kind of some really basic shapes to help you Could you make a gnome without the stamp shapes? I don't have the set. Anita, you probably could. We've done a few other ones using some basic shapes. But I'll put the link up for the ones that I showed you using the Christmas tree punch. I did some punch art with some gnomes last year, and I'll put the link up to it later. So if you're going to make this card, these little tools actually help you. So this is, and I'm just going to show you how I put this one together. They all start on an 8.5 by 11 card, then cut in half and scored at 4 1/4, right? And then, now these colors look terrible, but just to give you the idea, I used a 4 by 5 1/4, and then next I went with the 3 by 4 1/4 and the 3 by 4. Put that all together, and we got this. So here's the 4 by 5 1/4, the designer series paper. Then this is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and that's actually designer series paper too, and then Whisper White. Now, because I did this in a dark cardstock, I put a piece of Whisper White on the inside, 4 by 5 1/4, and was able to add our little extra gnome to the inside. This looked kind of country-ish to me. I'm kind of categorizing things. The other one was old school. This looks sort of country. I would add some twine maybe. Anyway, what if you wanted to do the same, use these same cards? We're going to start with this base, only this time we're going to use these two. We're going to do 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 and 3 by 3, okay? So here's that. And I'm changing this entire look. I'm going to use the same stamp set. We're using Mossy Meadow. This is from, oh shoosh, I looked it up just before I came in here and I knew it. Brightly Gleaming, designer series paper. I love this one. And then this is the brushed metal paper. And then another, this is my 3 by 3 of my Mossy Meadow, okay? Now you're thinking, well, that's gonna look kind of dull if you use Memento. Yeah, we're gonna bling this one up. I'm taking this piece and this, and instead of Memento, I'm going to use some Versamark and some heat embossing. Now, heat embossing is probably my most exciting skill I learned the very first time I used a stamp set. And it just blew me away at how cool this was, and I was hooked. And it was before Stampin' Up! Even. So let me get, I'm going to need, we don't sell this little gizmo anymore, I don't think. But this stuff takes all the static away and any kind of electricity. It's an embossing buddy, but I'm not even sure if the embossing buddy is still there. There was talk about it, and I think it might be gone. You can also use, if we don't have one, you can use a dryer sheet. That'll work too. You just want to brush it off a little. Now this is the other little thing that I use, an itty bitty little paintbrush. So here's my embossing powder, my extra tool because I might get messy. And then the next thing I'm going to need is my heat tool. So I need a little something underneath this because it's going to get messy. All right, this is going to go here. Yeah, I know, it was a cool tool. I don't know why. It must be it's one of those things that, you know, once you buy it, you have it for life. So it probably wasn't a big seller. All right, Versamark is a clear, slow drying. I know, isn't it beautiful? I love it. So what Debbie is saying is she would cut a shape out of it. One of the things that I tell you often is if you're going to put this on top of it, definitely punch something out of the middle so that you'll have it for later. So one of the things you could use is these are the punches that go with the The Sweet, we used this last week. It was the brightly gleaming, and if I could find it, I could show it to you. But I put it back away, and I don't know where it is right this minute. But you can look back and see. But these punches go, so you could punch an ornament out of it. It would be cool. It's not going to show, so whatever you punch, even if you punch just a label, you can always do that. All right, so we got this ready. Versamark, a very slow drying, clear ink, but it's going to be slow so I can add my embossing powder. Let me get this guy in the middle here. So this is the tree, but I don't think the whole tree is going to fit once I get this gnome on. This is a little different one. Make sure I have you nice and inky. And you're going to go right here. And if I zoom, you can kind of see him, right? All right. So now I'm going to bring the tree in. And if you notice, I don't think the whole tree is going to fit on this, but I don't need the whole tree. I just need part of it. So I'm going to put the tree like this. And then I'm going to put a little Christmas wish right up here. Okay, cover up my Versamark, and then I'm going to take my gold embossing powder and I'm going to sprinkle. And you're thinking, well, my goodness, that's a lot of embossing powder. Yeah, but I'm not going to use it all. I'm going to put the rest back in the container. So it looks like I'm dumping the whole thing. And you're thinking, well, I'm not doing that. That gets crazy. Whoops, I missed a wish over here. Okay. And I'm going to knock the excess off. Can you see? All right, so I knocked off the excess. I usually do a little flick on the back too, just to be sure. That looks pretty good. Ooh, see right here, there's a little itty bitty line. Let me get rid of that too. See, line's gone, just double check. Looks good. Set you right there for a second. Take this and pour it back in the jar. Put the cover on the jar so you don't end up with gold embossing powder everywhere. And then you're going to bring this back, and now I'm going to bring in the heat tool. This is where the magic happens. Right? It does. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, here we go. Shannon says she uses her Cricut tweezers so she doesn't burn herself. I live dangerously. And, oh, let me come back over here, sorry. And you watch and suddenly it will turn. There it goes. Right. Isn't that the coolest thing? Love it. Love, love, love it. Okay. Right? Doesn't that look incredibly elegant? It just looks like you're the coolest thing ever. And then we're going to put this on here. Now, to stick this down on here, I am going to use, you know what, there's one more place. I just want to go over it again. Right there just looked a little like I missed a spot. There, that's better. I'm going to use my Seal Plus, if I can put my hands on it. Oh, it's right here. Because it's sticking to the gold and it's super shiny, so I want it to stick really well. So I'm going to put the Seal Plus on this just to be sure that it sticks really good. I will tell you, embossing powder might take a little, it's really not hard, but whoops, I'm sorry, I need to zoom back out. You need to practice. So definitely practice on dark paper, because I find that even easier because you can see it. And then I'm going to put this Designer Series paper down. This is easily, now we were talking about Christmas cards in bulk. You could do this one because it looks like a ton of work, but actually this is easier than this. And actually faster because I don't have to do anything else now. And it is just the coolest thing. Oh, that sounds really cool. Gold embossing acorns on Very Vanilla. I have to tell you, I am usually a silver. I don't always like gold. But this card just cried out for it with this paper because it's just so cool. So grab this bundle of paper you will use over and over and over again. It's so pretty. Right? Super simple. But really looks like you bought the $5 one. You know, you bought the expensive Christmas cards. You didn't buy the dollar box. Right? If you send these out, then if you don't, like, you can write in here with a Sharpie or a dark pen will write absolutely fine. I'll show you in a sec. But you can also, you could do your Versamark on the inside. So I did a little Christmas wish on the outside, and then I have You're a Friend Like Gnome Other. There's no place like Gnome for the Christmas season. Holly Jolly Everything. I'm going to do There's No Place Like Gnome for the Christmas season inside here, and I'm going to use my embossing. Right? All right, so let's see how this works. Now, I don't really need a piece under it because I've got the fold on the card. Now, I probably would have done this before I put the whole card together in case I messed it up. But, you know, hey, we live dangerously in here in our lives. Live events, not my life. Now, I did not use the embossing buddy on this one, but I'm going to be okay. I honestly don't find that I have to use it all the time. It does help if you're in a climate. It depends on where you are. I mean, we are pretty dry right now, but I am not having static. I'm not getting any shocks yet. Now, here's a situation that I have. Can you see I've got the little ghost stamp on the edge? See it over there? So I need to get rid of that. So that's where the handy dandy itty bitty little paintbrush comes in handy. It's just a dry brush. Let me get back under here. Yeah, I don't usually, I mean, sometimes I do it. I want to be able, you can see this, and I can't seem to hold it up there that way straight. And you're just going to flick off this extra. Make sure that I don't touch the other part because it'll take it off of there too. Little foof. And we're good. It looks like this end was a little heavy. Whoops. Looks like that end was a little heavier, but you know what? It's going to be fine. You notice I turn my heat gun on and then point it. So make sure it heats up. And then go ahead. There we go. Oh, the magic. If you find that your paper curls a little, you can always hit it on the back to kind of smooth it out. I know some people tell you to emboss from the back. I gotta watch it. It's the coolest part ever. So I need to watch it. So there's that. Now, I keep putting this away way too soon because I'm excited to show you. Fingerprints seem to stick. Yeah, now I don't usually have trouble with it, but let me just grab, I think I have one. This is the Stampin' Up! Marker, the felt tip one. Fine point, that's the word I want. Well, if it wasn't dry. Now, what would be really cool, this is not a Stampin' Up! Product, so don't tell anybody, but the Cricut Gold pen writes really well. Watch. I'm going to have to cover this up. Someone's going to get this thing and not be excited. Think, well, what did she scribble on it? I could use that pen. The other one is Sharpie has a gold and a silver. So if you wanted to do that, you could. If you don't like this whole issue inside the pen, with the dark, you wanted to write a note, you wanted more information, you could always use the white inside, like this one. And you could still heat emboss on the white. That would be fine too. It's kind of cute that she's stamped on the inside, so I could stamp her in here and heat emboss. So if you have not tried heat embossing, really, it is the coolest thing, and it really makes your cards look amazing. So you need Versamark. The embossing powder comes in a bunch of colors, but I have white that I love on dark ones, on like Night of Navy, any of the reds. The white looks really cool. Silver, of course. And then there's a clear that's really kind of cool. Let me show you how clear works. Clear needs a little bit more. What if you want a color that you don't have? Let's say you wanted, let me find one that we don't have. Ooh, what if I wanted, where is it? Cinnamon cider. So let's say you wanted cinnamon cider heat embossing. Is that possible? It is, but you need your Stamparatus for that one. So let me give you a quick heat embossing trick. Let me move some stuff. All right, so let's say we wanted, I want the other, let's see, I want this little girl, but I want her in cinnamon cider. All right, so I'm going to get rid of that because we don't need it. And I need a piece, I need some Whisper White. Okay, so I want her, obviously you figure out where you want her to be, and you put her down. So first, I'm going to stamp her in cinnamon cider. Now, cinnamon cider dries too quickly. Sometimes you can get away with it, but for best results, do this trick. Let me zoom you back out. So, you're going to cinnamon cider her and bring it over. Okay? Missed her star. All right, so there she is. All right. Now, I'm going to clean up my little girl and take this off. Clean this. Now, I could use the chamois. That would do it. And you want to be sure you get it really clean. All right, so cinnamon cider is cleaned off. And then I'm going to stamp her with Versamark. Just making sure I have her clean. Hold on. She's a little damp now. Okay. So she's all set, right? So now I'm going to bring Versamark in. And we're going to Versamark the same stamp. And then bring this over. Make sure I get everything done. And now I'm not going to use this on my Stamparatus because I don't want any kind of mess on that. So I'm going to take these guys off. Move that out of my way. And I'm going to take the clear and cover her in clear. Now, can you see? That's what she looks like. Not very exciting yet. Put you away. So there's a few steps, but seriously, you've got time to do a bunch. So you could stamp a whole bunch of these guys and then heat them all at once. You don't have to do them one by one by one. The problem with clear is you don't know if you have any little goobers around the edge because you can't see them. So you got to just be careful. You can look carefully, but right now watch and see what we got. So now I get that same embossing gloss. It's the coolest thing. I wish you could see it. Hold on. I don't know how to let you see how cool. There it is. See how cool that is? And it feels so, it's embossed. So it feels amazing. Right? Love it. So that's what the clear does. You can clear on top of it. You could also use clear on a darker color background. That would look really cool. If you weren't sure, if you wanted a more subtle look, you could do that. Lots of different options. But definitely get yourself going with some heat embossing. If you've never done it before, it will really make you excited. It's really fun. And it's a technique that is just, it's not that hard, but it looks like it's super hard. And you can always color after you've done this too, which is neat. So you could use the clear and it resists, so it pushes away the color so you don't color over it. So if you're using your Sharpie or your blends, not your Sharpies. Right? So you get a totally different look. Okay? Love it. There. Ooh, that's showing the shiny up pretty good. Right? Super cool. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for coming tonight. I will not be doing this on Thursday nights. Remember, we're just doing this one night a week. And but I'll be posting things throughout the week for you to check out in our Facebook group, the VIP group, and we'll also be sure to check out the blog so you don't miss anything. I'll put the recording of this up there as well as the supplies that I used tonight. So have a great week, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.